Apart from that, we generally build reports and dashboards for telling, hey, this many job orders has been shared to you. I'll start again from starting as if this is a recording. I need to share this to Shankar as well. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so the app what they are building is for recruiting. Okay, recruiting
Okay.
application for staffing companies. Um, sorry, I'll keep you on mute. Okay, thanks a lot. So we are going to work on recruiting application for staffing companies. Um, like a lot of people have. Yeah, anyway, the you guys are also working for some staffing company, so you are the permanent employees for that company, and they source you to some customers. Okay, we are trying to build application for your employers where they can manage candidates, where they can manage job openings with their customers. Okay, who are customers? Customers are the clients with your employer. What client will do? Client generally shares job orders with your employer by seeing the job order, and again job order is linked with some more job order cost sheet which tells, hey, for this 5 to 7 years experience, I want to pay $60 per hour. For 8 years to 10 years, I want to pay this cost for a developer. For a consultant for 7 to 10 years, I want to pay $90 per hour. $90 per hour. They're going to share all this job order cost sheet. Okay, this documents information will be shared to you from the client. So obviously, client is organization. Who will be sharing you this information? A contact. What is a who is a contact? Contact is the person who works for your customers, who generally shares about job orders, job costs, or bill rates, all this information to you. Okay, you're going to keep track of all the clients data, all the contacts who are working for that clients, and obviously job orders cost information. And by seeing the job orders and job orders cost, you're going to create job openings and expected salary, means the salary range for that job in your internal job openings object. And it obviously have some skills and description, roles and responsibilities, and about company description, everything. Okay, and by matching the skills of the candidates with the job openings, you are going to connect interviews. If there is a candidate for Salesforce, and if there is a job opening for Salesforce with 6 to 7 years, if the candidate's experience is also the same thing, you can create some interviews. You can automatically schedule some interview on the available times what the customer have shared to you and what candidate have shared to you. Okay, so you are going to take the available times to speak. There is a sub child object which you want to track on candidates as well as on job openings also. Sorry, not job openings. Job openings should be related with the interviewer. Interviewer will be generally having a scheduled timings. So we can say that I'm free from afternoon 3 p.m. to um, evening 6 p.m. So with the timings what interviewer has shared and with the candidate times, I can schedule some interview. Okay, automatic. I can do this automation once once the candidate is once the candidate have done the interview, you can go on with some child objects with interviews. You can post some candidate review, candidate score, all this stuff. Okay, it's child objects of interview. Okay, so the the candidates with good reviews will be hired by this client. Got it finally. So it generally show the list of um, interviews for a particular position, and The customer will be looking only on the top reviews candidates only, and he is going to share off letter to the only to the top 3 or 4 people. Out of that, 1 or 2 guys might join this customer. So you can see all these things: how many job openings created this week, last month, current month, this quarter, how many candidates joined your company, how many interviews have been scheduled. All these things you can schedule some interviews. You can put down on reports, and um, you can also build some reports like on reviews also, how your candidates are performing. Reports individually specific to candidates. For suppose if a candidate took around 8 interviews, okay, what's his average rating? I can put down all these things in a reports and dashboards, which helps the recruiters or hiring managers of your company to to decide on the candidate skills and abilities, and even to check how positions are closing with the customers, our customers are happy. And you can also send some survey links automatically from the Salesforce system, Salesforce email, okay, updates, email alerts, so that customers can even share the feedback about the candidate, uh, about the performance of the candidate and everything. Okay, and forecasting, it generally tells how many like, for suppose if there's a hot skill that is Salesforce, they can predict, hey, this many openings will be coming to us. The type of things I can forecast. So the Salesforce CRM app don't won't give this recruiting application. So we are building application on App Exchange for Salesforce customers. For suppose if some customer needs some application, they can directly install this app by clicking on get it now button, and put down by keeping their username and password of their instance. It automatically installs in their system. Apart from sales, call center, marketing, and other applications, now after installation, you will see the recruiting application also, what we have built in their customer system, customer sandbox. Once they try this that application sandbox, they will install the same app in their production also, so that if they are happy, they will install in production. Otherwise, they will stop using this application. That's how the app exchange will work. So we start from scratch, and it won't take much time. It takes around a week. I'm not adding advanced options here. I already have a lot of packaged code with me about putting application, which talks about candidates interviews, job applications, and even reviews, how interviews will score, all interviewers will score all this stuff. We just need to add few more objects like clients, contacts, and special reports and dashboards. And one thing here I want to share some SMS to you here is, there are different profiles I need in this system. For suppose interviewer can only rate rate the can only rate the candidates whom he interviewed, whom uh, he means. For suppose I can assign 4 candidates to interviewer, he can only rate these 4 people. He can't rate other people who does not belong to his skill. For suppose there is an interviewer for SAP, he can't interview a Salesforce guy. So I want to put this type of options. I want to control sharing settings, all this stuff. So there are different people in a consultancy. So the head of consultancy needs to see all the data in the system. The recruiter have to see only the job applications related to him. Okay. Or suppose, sorry. For suppose if you want to so in your company, if you have separate marketers or recruiters or marketing people, especially for SAP, one more marketer especially for Salesforce, like that. In this case, I need to create some security model where SAP guy can see only SAP records, SAP guy, Salesforce guy can only create Salesforce records, Salesforce job openings, and he can only conduct interviews only for Salesforce guys. He can only schedule to the people whose skill is Salesforce. That type of security settings I can automatically enforce on the users. So now I'll share you the things, how many profiles I need, how many users, how many type of users, and what they need. All this access in a Excel sheet. You have to develop these things on your own. And as we are developing some application, I don't want to create something and delete it, remove that again, and add one more thing like that. You need to be uh, first of all, you need to design things, and you have to create only after finalizing the requirement. If you start developing without planning, you have to again delete some of the components what you have developed, some of the relationships, some of the fields. We'll follow the standards as we are developing app exchange application. Once the app is released, you cannot remove the components what you have developed, what you have added in this package, because it's a managed package what we are developing. It's not unmanaged package. I'll show all the differences between managed and unmanaged. Okay, and what's the advantages of it, how to build managed packages, all this stuff in this. With this assignment you can learn all this stuff. Okay, you can also put down in your resume, you can add the app exchange skills where you have worked on full life cycle of app exchange development, developing, maintaining, supporting user customers. Okay, I'll share the screenshots to you, and I will also share the pick list values available for some of the fields. Okay, uh, there are a lot of things you need to track on the candidate, on the interviewers, a lot of things. Okay, so these pick list values are required for you to put down on the appropriate field. So I will share all this information to you as you don't have idea. Okay, if you have any questions, I want to even create a project management tool which helps you to ask questions on all this stuff, Asana. Okay, I will send you the invitation to you on email to your email addresses. Okay, but I thought of starting it today, but unfortunately I am a system admin. I lost my password and I am trying to reset a lot of times. Still I'm not getting. Somehow I did some wrong IP address, uh, some network IP ranges, and I am unable to log into the system. I will fix that issue, or otherwise I will take one more enterprise partner edition. Okay, for this application. Okay,
I have a question.
yes please. Yeah, please go on.
You will be providing all the fields what we need to build and all. You will be providing all the fields what we need to insert and everything, right? In the Excel sheet. That's what
Yeah,
you said, right?
yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to share an Excel sheet. I'll be sharing you the fields information. I'll share you as screenshots. Okay. This is the fields I on the candidate object. I'll share one screenshot for you. I will split the work to you, like some work for Sridhar, some work for Shankar. Same way, when I'm asking to build some security model, sharing model for different profile users, different profiles, I'll share you that requirement in Excel sheet. But the fields information I'll share you in screenshots. Okay, I don't have time to build Excels. Okay, but anyway, that also helps you. Okay, I'll share you the screenshots of these pages. Okay, will that work? I'll send you the document. So I will share the screenshot to you. You can directly create, hey, email field for email, phone field for phone, website for URL, street, some string, sorry, some text field, IP address, number field, like that you can create. Yeah, let's go on to our regular class. Okay, Okay, so yesterday we worked till somehow about till audit trail it seems. Oh sorry, worked till expired passwords. Let's talk about delegated administration. What is that? This is some little advanced topic, but most people are not using this. But yes, you can you can use this in some scenarios. Okay, for suppose if there is a very big company that is Accenture. Okay, so Accenture is also trying to implement Salesforce. So they are implementing Salesforce for hiring. Okay, for recruiting and hiring. So whenever employee joins in the company, okay, they have to create a user in the system because they are using Salesforce for even referral bonus and all this for pay slips and everything. Okay, whenever an employee joins, they have to create a user in the system. So will it be possible that the admin of the company is in US? Okay, Accenture is headquartered in US, and if there is an employee joining in Hyderabad office, do you need to send email from Hyderabad to again? Yeah, it's possible, but it's a big overhead for the administrator in headquarters. You have to create around 3,000 4,000 users per day, and you have to deactivate the users who are leaving the organization. See what happens. These big companies have around 2 lakh 3 lakh employees in their organization. When each day there will be a lot of orientation going on for the people who are joining the company, and same day most people will leave the company. Okay, around 1,000 or 600 people might be there is a lot of fluctuations. Okay, it happens every time. We have to create all this stuff, right? Every time you have to create many users, every time you have to deactivate users. You cannot delete the user. If you go to the user object, you don't have option to delete the user. You can only deactivate them so that they cannot log in after making them inactive. Okay, so in this case we use delegated administration. For suppose for the people who are joining in Bangalore, I can assign some delegated administration for HR, head of HR in Bangalore, so that person can create users. That person can assign people to that profiles. Okay, I'll show that to you. I'll show the existing delegated administration. So this is the delegated administration group, delegated group name. Okay, so if you see here, it generally says who are delegated administrators. So who are delegated administrators? For suppose if there are three people, one is head of HR Bangalore and assistant HR and hiring manager. If these three people, if you want to give some permissions for them to create users who are joining in Bangalore office, yes, I can add the three people in this delegated administrators. Means now these three people are able to create users in the system and assign them to some profiles, and some profiles, not to all profiles. They cannot assign people to CFO. I generally give some permissions in this. With that permissions only they can do some things. Okay, they cannot. My God. Okay. Yeah, I'm back. Sorry, lost my internet connection. Yeah, I lost my connection. I'm just back. Can you hear me? Okay. So these are the people to whom I want to use permissions, special permissions to create users, to assign them to the profiles, to add permission sets for them, all this stuff. See, this is the part I can add a user also by clicking on add. I can add people. See, I can put some lookup. I can add some Nishant or training participants like that. Anyone, okay. These are recent users. I can even search for the other people. For suppose Usha. back, or else, yeah. So these are the people who are eligible for regular administration. I can assign these people to this guy. Now this person also will have special permissions to create users only in Bangalore office. Okay, this is one thing. And user administration. So generally, he can assign people to these roles and subordinates. Only people under this role, under roles and, who belongs to this role, or who are reporting under this role. For other people only they can do the administration. They cannot administrate the people above this role, or people who does not belong to this roles and subordinates. Okay, I will click on add. So this is how you can add people. I can click on this. I can add the roles here, so that generally you permissions of, means the people who belong, who's under this role, or who is in the role, for them the other people will become administrators. In the previous step I did administrators, right? They will become delegated administrators for these people. So for these people are administrators, delegated administrators. And what all they can do, they can only do this. They can only assign these people to these profiles. I have some restricted settings. So these people cannot make them CEOs or CFOs also. They can only assign them to some profiles, and I can add their profiles here. So for suppose in Bangalore office there are around four positions. One is developers, senior developers, and team leads. Okay. If I want to give only access to these three people, yes, I can do that. For these people, I need to add um, developers, team leads, and managers here. All the roles who belongs to this, all the profiles who belongs to this, I have to add here. And later on, what permission sets these people can add to these users. So for suppose, if there are few permission sets like four or five, out of four permission sets, I can only give two permission sets. Add it here, click on edit, and I can move towards right side so that the permission sets will be available for these people to add it to the users whom I have selected in the second step, in the second user administration. For these users, I can add permission sets. I can add any of the permission sets which is in this list, these three permission sets. And after that, so what public groups I can assign to these users. Okay, I'll click on edit. I can add some public groups also. So to what public groups I can assign, and I can modify this. Okay, I will add that groups here towards right side, and now these people have permissions on this also. Oh, I'm sorry, I haven't moved towards right side. I clicked on save directly. It won't work. I have to click on edit. I have to move towards the right side. Oh my bad. I have to move towards right side and click on save. Now these groups are added so that these administrators can manage even these groups also. Later on, custom object administration. This is the important thing. Okay, especially I can I can add only few custom objects so that these people can manage that specific objects. If I click on add, I can have a list of all the objects. I can click on lookup, and I can add the object so that this set of people will have special permissions on that objects. Consultants. So these people will become the administrators for these objects, can manage every aspect of this custom object except set the custom object permissions on profiles. Except object permissions on profiles, they can manage any other things. Okay, they can share records, they can transfer records, they can modify all this stuff they can do. Okay, now these three people, so these two people have access on only on these two objects. For suppose if this is a HR related delegated administration, I will be adding payroll management object, sorry, payroll object, leaves object, okay, and payslips object, all these related items which are related to HRs. If this delegated administration belongs to a finance guy, yeah, I will add some other related objects like paychecks, all these related objects which are related to finance group. Okay, got it. So there are different permissions I can specially add, and I can give that permissions only to some set of people locally. Okay, so with this you are reducing the overhead for the over system administrators, because system administrators will be sitting somewhere in the headquarters, and every time if you are asking them to create some basic user creation, deactivation, and so you need to grow the, in that case you need to make the very big uh, administrators team to manage all these people. If you internally give some special access, you if you make some delegated administrators, it will reduce the effort for the overall system administrators. Okay, small issues they will come to these administrators. Big issues, these people will automatically share the things to the overall administrators. I mean system administrators. Okay, I'm expanding again the security controls. I'm going back to remote site settings. The next option. So this option is really important when you are trying to invoke some other service, third-party services from Salesforce, or when you are accepting some data from other systems also. In this case, you are trying to collaborate with some other third-party site. For that, you have to add the site, the URL of that third-party site in this remote sites. With that, you are giving green signal to interact with the third-party web addresses. That it means if, for suppose if there is a requirement in your project to integrate, to add Google Map on the account page, so that the Google Map will show you the account address which is mentioned in the shipping address or billing address on the account object. Okay, what is the address of the account? If there's if Apple is the account, so it belongs to San Francisco. So I gonna put San Francisco address on that account object. So my map will automatically show the uh, the the Apple location on the map, so that it's useful for the sales reps to travel to the customer places directly and meet the customers. If that is the requirement, so in this case I have to integrate Google Maps or Bing Maps into my Salesforce VF pages. Before, even though if you develop that integration, it won't work. You have to add a remote site from here saying, hey, Google Map API, or suppose if Google API uh, is the endpoint URL to which you are talking to regarding map data. Yes, I have to add that here, and you can, so that you can start communicating with that server. Otherwise, it won't allow. It will show some error on the page saying, hey, you are not eligible to talk to this APIs, like that. You can see the error on the page when you are opening the VF pages. Okay, so you have to add it. Click on new. Simply give the remote site name, any name what is comfortable for you, which speaks about your requirement, and remote site URL like maps.google.com. If that is the API dot mapapi.google.com, like that. If you got the URL, okay. It depends. Each company have different URLs. Okay, and whether to disable uh, portal security. If you need to disable, just click on check option here. It will disable the security protocol and some description about this remote site settings. In the requirement which I said, I can put down some description saying we are using this remote site setting for account object map integration. Okay, the type of message I can put down here and make it active. If you are deactivating it, if you are not checking this, it's not active and it won't work for you. Okay, you have to keep this active to start collaborating with the third party URL. Okay, and I have to click on save. After that, after clicking on save, it automatically visible on your remote site settings screen. It shows all the remote site settings currently active in my system. So you are simply allowing your Salesforce system to integrate with these URLs, remote site URLs. Okay, and name credentials. I have seen this concept somewhere. Yeah, in the profiles it seems. Yes. So the named credentials, I think this concept is especially useful for integrating your services, third-party services. When you're calling some endpoint URLs, in that case, you have to pass some authentication parameters or some security keys or API keys like that. So what information are you sending, you have to clearly mention here, and even you have to map the certificate. For suppose you are integrating with Twitter, okay? So for generally Twitter might accept some API key and username and password of your enterprise system, enterprise account, Twitter account. In that case, you have to put down the label Twitter, like Twitter API and Twitter endpoint API name of that unique name and some URL in this big URL field. You have to add the Twitter certificate here by downloading that certificate, so that you are giving you are automatically calling out with a certificate, so there won't be any security issues. Okay, and identity type, I'm not sure on this. Okay, it's per user or per organization, anonymous or something like that. I'm not sure on this. This is a new option. I will explore this option and I'll let you know. Okay, there's no, if you don't have any idea, please keep the default option available in the drop down so that it works. Okay, and I think they have launched this feature very newly. That's the reason I have seen the new option here. Okay. I can see the new option for some of the settings here for name credentials, email connect. I haven't seen before this. Okay, I haven't seen before a month about this email connect. Okay, file upload and download security. So you can allow some fields to upload. For suppose there is a content object in your system, Salesforce content application. Okay, what you do, you're going to upload some files, you're going to attach some files in the system, so you can block some of the files. If I check this, you are not allowing HTML uploads as attachments or document records. So means you are not going to allow HTML files in attachments or documents of your Salesforce system. And these are some other file types what you are allowing in the current application, but you can block some of the file uploads also. If you don't want to allow AVI files, you can uncheck them. See, sorry, file type. So this is uploads, file handling thing. Okay, and this is the download behavior. See, for suppose, yeah, you uploaded AVI content into the system. Okay, so how this file should be accessed? You are saying this download behavior. What is hybrid? Hybrid is the combination of downloading and even executing in the browser. If I am clicking on download, means you are not allowing this AVI file to play on the browser. You are directly downloading that file. This is the option you are controlling here. And if I'm selecting the second option, you're going to play the file on the browser. You're not downloading that. Okay. If you're selecting hybrid, you have both the options. You have a download option as well as you have directly play the option on the same screen. This is hybrid option. So these are the download options available. These are the upload option. Only one upload option. These are the download options. If you want to change that, yes, you can do that. So some of the files they have automatically set the default download behavior. You can keep it in the same way because there are some exe files or wrf files. Exe file cannot be executed on the browser, right? Because you have to download it first and you have to execute on your Windows system. It won't even execute in the MacBook also. Okay, so that's the reason I'm giving download option here. I can't execute on the system. Hybrid, I have seen hybrid. I don't know why these guys give hybrid. Means sometimes what you do is, so these days most applications they are not downloading. They are simply when you click on install, they started downloading parallelly and they started installing parallelly. Okay, that option you they have given directly. You don't have option to execute exe files directly in the browser. That is the reason you don't have that option here. So when you start asking for installing Chrome browser, what happens? It won't download the file directly. You're going to download some very basic file which helps to install, parallelly download and install. That file you download for around 5 MB. Later on, it downloads parallelly on installation the remaining 90 MB or 120 MB. Okay, that happens with the hybrid option, even in the XE option also. Yeah. Anyway, the other things, XLS is the Excel file. I can download and I can execute in the browser. I can even see the hybrid option. Don't want to change this. And even course, the next option which you are seeing here, I have not gone through that as well. These are very basic options. The customer won't ask you to configure this. Okay. Okay. So earlier it was not there. For suppose when you're trying to access some JavaScript libraries uh, from other domains, from other origin, from other resources, you are going to enable that whitelist origins with cores. What is JavaScript libraries? For suppose when you are seeing the roles and responsibilities in your job openings, what you are getting, okay, you see option called jQuery library. Have a good idea on jQuery library, AngularJS or jQuery mobile. These are all JavaScript libraries. With that, you can do awesome things with less JavaScript. You can directly call some of the functions which are already created by them in JavaScript library, and you can simply use some simple function to call that, and you can implement that feature inside your PF page. Okay, so for suppose if there is a requirement to implement some slider, by moving the slider, you want to change the value on the percentage field or on the number field on your VF page. If that is the requirement, I cannot. If I want to build this requirement with JavaScript code, it takes around um, around 300 lines of code for this requirement. But if you add jQuery in this current page, and if you there is a simple function called slider, you can add that particular property of that sorry, that number field or percentage field, and I can add slider for that, so that whenever you're changing that particular option sliding, it automatically changes the value of that number field or percentage field. With a single 2 to 3 lines of code, you can build that requirement. So these libraries became very famous many years. Okay, so that's the reason they generally ask for that type of library specialties also. If that is the case, generally jQuery library will be available in jQuery.com. You can use that libraries. You are going to whitelist that domain or resources. What is the origin URL? You are going to put it down here. So first up, I can show you where is jQuery library. jQuery UI, jQuery. See, this is the jQuery.com JavaScript library. Okay. Or suppose if I want to download that, click on this. These are the some of the URLs where I can download. See, this is the URL for jQuery 2.1.3 version. Okay, this is JavaScript, very big JavaScript file, which are which 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 they mention a lot of functions, a lot of useful functions. Okay, all the functions you can see it inside this also. API documentation, you can see all the functions available in this jQuery version. So you have to whitelist this. I'm copying this. I'm going back to the whitelist origin. Your whitelisting URL. This is the URL which I want to whitelist. I'm clicking on save. I have to give HTTPS. I want to whitelist this domain. Now this domain is became whitelisted, and you can now access the JavaScript resources from this domain. That's what this is a new concept. Okay, cross object resource sharing is now called as cross origin resource sharing. Okay, okay, from different origin I can show resources. And portal health check. What are portal health check? So you can now build a partner portal and customer portals in Salesforce. And if you want to track how many users are available, how many people are accessing that, how many licenses means how many portal profiles are available, how many custom objects are accessing that, sorry, how many people are accessing that, sorry, how many custom objects are shared to these profiles. All these options I can see it here. So this shows the portal health of your partner portal or customer portal. Okay, simple option, you cannot do anything here. You are simply checking the status. And yeah, Salesforce Identity Connect. Okay, so this is useful for implementing single sign-on using Salesforce. So connecting to Salesforce using single sign-on. So there are some Active Directory integrations, and you can download some of the for Windows you have to download this, for Linux you have to download this, and there's implementation guide and some of the after, for suppose you have a earlier version, if you want to extend that, you can add the patches. Okay, for suppose if you are using 1.0.3 version, if you want to extend that, you can add this patch download for that current package. For existing installation we are using this for Windows and Linux. This is for single sign-on Active Directory integrations. Okay, is that security controls, domain management. Yeah, you can check your custom domains here linked with this organization. So this is the domain which I took here. So you can you can configure my domain here. Okay, this is what I configured. And once the domain is created, available domain is used by you, you can deploy it to users so that your users can use this domain. I can click here for logging into this domain. See, Just checking whether this is live or not. I can deploy this to users. So it's okay. So this domain is now deployed to the users so that they can start using this. So now you can now give. I can stop people logging in from this login address login.salesforce.com, and I can give here mcloud hyphen dev hyphen ed dot my dot salesforce.com as the login URL. See, I can put down this. For suppose I'll go to another browser, copy this and I'll click on enter. It shows me the same page, username and password, login information. Now I can. This is a custom domain for our company. Okay. If I want to prevent, if I check this, you are now not allowed to log in from login.salesforce.com. You have to always log in from this URL. You can. What happens is some people don't know what is the login. Some people forget it. That's the reason they generally copy this URL and they will add this link to the internal portal or internal whenever the internal portal will tell you all the important login links, all this stuff. If you directly click on that link, you don't need to type all this stuff. Also, you can directly take to this link. You can put on your username and password directly on that. Okay. So you it gently shows your domains. You have to register the domain here, and you can build some custom URLs and create some public pages also. You can see the custom URLs here. Communication templates, yes, I think you do have idea when we discussed about this topic in while working on workflow rules. Okay, we created email templates which are useful for sending email alerts with workflow rules. And the next concept is translation workbench. So the translation workbench is especially useful to localize your Salesforce organization, means transforming your application to different languages. So this is useful for that. For suppose you are transforming, means you are building a custom application. What happens if there is a standard application? Salesforce will already provide translations for Chinese, Japanese, Hindi, all this stuff. Okay, but what happens if you're developing a custom application? For suppose your tab name is some different tab name which there is no meaning at all in Chinese language. In that case, you have to put on your custom Chinese translation there, right? Even on the field names, even on the field labels, everything. Okay, I will show how to do that. For suppose if you don't like the translation what Salesforce have given for the account field, you can put down your own translation also for that. See, I will click on translation settings to enable the languages available. These are the four languages which I am currently supporting. I can even add some other languages. Okay, I can do that by clicking on add. It shows a lot of other languages also, but I don't want to add now. See, I can add Italian. And the second option is I can add translators. So for suppose if there is an employee in Italy who is a good expert in translating, I can add that user to this list so that he can now be the translator for this Italian language in my system. And the second option is translate. The translate is the important thing here. For suppose you want the application to be developed for German people, and you don't like the translations given by the Salesforce team for German language. For suppose I'm selecting German, I'm selecting on the account object. There is a option called some field name like billing city. So billing city, the translation given by Salesforce is different. They have given the standard translation, but you don't want to give that. You want to give some different German keyword for that. If that is the scenario, I can click on see custom fields. For suppose if the I want to change the company blog, okay, I can click on this. From English to German. Oh my God. Oh, it's some different thing. I got it, the different thing. Oh my God. Okay, translate.google.com will generally work for me. English to German. This is a German language, okay. I want to copy this company blog and I want to put down on my company blog here, right? I will put down here. I have the custom translation here so that if Salesforce gives some other word and from now on I will see this new word. When the German people open the organization, if this language information, if that person language is German, he can now see after saving this, he can now see in place of company blog, he can see this. Means you are transforming the application to the end user language. For suppose if I go back to my I don't have any Chinese, you can even put Chinese language also here, Japanese, anything, okay, you can translate according to your needs, okay. For suppose it supports all languages. If you have any questions, please let me know. That's a really simple concept. I do have some other video for that. So it doesn't change language here, but still I can put select Chinese here. After enabling the Chinese language in the translation settings, now you can see the Chinese language also here, and you can now put the Chinese translation when you select the Chinese language. Means for Chinese people, for the custom fields, okay, on the account object, actually we are trying to change only the labels, not the backend data, right? What is the label? Company blog. So when you create a new account on a German, when a Chinese people clicking on new account, when you are when the company blog is the fourth field, there you are not showing company blog there. You are showing this data, the four-letter Chinese word you are showing there instead of this. Okay, I'm not saving this because it's not the German word. I'm clicking on save now. It works. Saved. Now this is the translation what you guys have done, custom translation. But anyway, Salesforce will generally give the translations for the standard fields, okay, and standard options, standard labels, all this stuff, okay, tabs. If you want to modify, yes, you still have option to modify that. See, these are all the object names, okay. You can even change the translations for help text also. For validation rules also you can change the things, okay. See, for the tabs you can change. For validation rules also you can change the see validation error message. What is that? For suppose if you are entering wrong data in the system, do you want to show for the Chinese case? Do you want to show the error messages in the English language because you are developing validation rules in English language only? Okay, if you want to change show them in Chinese language, here is the option. These are the validation rules on the account object. These are the six messages what are available for six validation rules. I can put down German messages, appropriate German messages here, and I can save it so that the message also will show even in German language instead of English language for a German person. Okay. So override option,
I have a question here, like
yeah,
these translations, like whenever we are opening our account in Germany, does it automatically change or
yeah,
we need
Salesforce
to
or
assign user?
no, you no need to assign users. There is a language field on the user object. For suppose, even though if you are in US, you are a Japanese guy, you are more flexible in Japanese language. You can change your language to Japanese by changing the user field. I'll show that to you. I'm going to set up. I'll quickly change my profile and see what happens. Clicking on users. This is my profile. I'm clicking on edit. I don't want to do more stuff here because when I change the language here, it completely transforms into some Chinese or Japanese. If that happens, I don't know what is save, what is cancel also. That's the reason I will come back immediately. So the language is here. I'm clicking some Japanese or Chinese. Okay, I don't know what the language is this. I'm clicking on save. See, every time everything will be changing now. See, or suppose projects is the custom object. They don't know the translation for this. I have to specially give this translation a translation workbench settings. Timesheets also is the custom object. I have to give for them. Even data also I can create in the Japanese language. As I entered in English language, it's showing in English language. If I enter in Japanese language, it shows Japanese language also. This is the labels. The data in the backend database also it supports all languages. Okay. So I don't want to again go to some other tab. If I'm doing that, I don't know what is save button, what is edit button, all this stuff. Okay. That's the reason I'm going backward, and I will click on change option like this, and I will click on English and I click on save. Now again I'm back. If you don't like the
Yeah, got
translations
it.
given by Salesforce, some custom objects which is not properly translated, you can do the translation manually by selecting the custom fields, by selecting the object. You can change the translations for help text, for labels, even for the validation rules, alerts, all this stuff you can change it. There's a lot of options there. You can check that options. And override. What is override? So if you install some app exchange applications, if you don't like the translations provided by them, yes, you can override that options also from here. These are two applications which are installed in the Salesforce system. That is the reason it's showing these two packages only. This is only for package overriding. Okay, if they have provided some translations by belong company for belong application, I don't like the translations. I want to translate to my own some different values, some different names. I can do that. I can for select the language, and I can select the component also, and I can select the object available, and I can change it accordingly. The current English label, you have to put the appropriate language label here, and click on save and export. You can export the translations what you have done, and you can keep backup of that, and you can also import the things also. How you can import? For suppose you are now launching translations for Japanese language. You have to build it from scratch. So first of all, there is a template. You generally share all the English data of the application to a person who can know the language, both Japanese and English. So that person will automatically fill all the details in Excel sheet at one time. If you share the Excel sheet to us, we can browse it and we can upload and import it so that in one time you can automatically translate all the fields in the application, all the validation rules, all the things. This is a really simple option. For suppose if they don't know about Salesforce, this is the right option. You have to share them a spreadsheet, Excel sheet, CSV file. They will write the translations appropriate for appropriate English words. One time you can import it and it automatically transforms into now you are completely translated for the Chinese application. Now people can use that Japanese or Chinese translation. That option is for import. Export for taking backups of your current translations by date wise. Okay. And data management. I will speak about this in the next class, and I will share the recording before that. Also, I'm missing that. I'm missing. Okay, I don't miss today. I'll work on that. Okay, I'm not getting time to work on that. Okay. I have the videos, but I don't know. I have to look into that, open the video, and I have to look whether that's a data management video or not. So I'm exploring some videos, and it's taking some time for me. Okay, I'll do that today. Okay, got it. So I'll be sharing you the enterprise developer login access also, developer edition login. Okay, and I'll post you the requirements also. And I will. Yeah. So what I'm talking about is about this application, the Canvas login. I have added the Shankar and Sridhar also here. These are the people. Now you guys can access the pages, the syllabus, and all this stuff in this tool. And you can also see the assignments, recording videos also. For suppose if I clicking on this class, first class, so the intro quiz, and you can see the recording links also by clicking on this. You have option to access some.
Actually, we are not able to see all those things.
Okay, yeah. Now I published it because I published it just before this class.
Okay.
I will because it's not completely organized. Have to do a lot of proper content matching. All this stuff I have to do. Okay. If this is means there are some of the assignments. I think assignments wise it's really good, but recording links are not mapped to all the classes. Even though if you are missing the concepts, you can access that links. Okay. Topics what we are discussing, and if you have missed some of the topics, you can talk about that with me. So can you access again? Do you have have you took the login from Canvas? If yes, you
Yes,
can
I
now.
did, and I checked.
If yes, you can now see in my courses. You can see Salesforce, and you can access the content now. Because I by mistake I haven't added the I haven't published this before. Now I published it. See, I published it today. You can now access. I can check the people okay who are able to access my system. And yeah, see Shankar, you are now activated. Sridhar, you have to still activate. It's still in pending stage. So you logged in on 12:46. I can now check reports how you are accessing the system, whether you're doing assignments or not. I can even check all the reports automatically. Okay, how long you spent on this tool? You can all these things I can track. Okay, thanks guys. We'll meet in tomorrow's class again. So you don't need to wait, and I will put on the timing before 1 or 2 hours. Okay. And if you are not
Okay.
flexible with that, just reply me immediately. I can reschedule the class time. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Yep. Bye. Have a nice day.
See you tomorrow. Bye. Have a nice weekend.